It's game time, so get your strapped. The magic sponge doused and the oranges cut, chilled and quartered as we take the field for WCBH Darwin Sports Radio. WCBH Darwin Sports Radio.
Joining us on the line from Geelong, Jono. Last week was round 8 in the AFL. There was a drawn match on the Thursday, 93 apiece between the Pies and the Hawks.
Yeah, g'day, Cam. Great to speak to you once again. Yeah, 93 apiece. The Pies, well, the Hawks had all the scoring opportunities throughout the night and probably should have had the game done and dusted. But Collingwood gave away a free kick and they kicked accurately and they were in front, but gave away a free kick on the siren. Dylan Moore kicks goal. After the siren, we have a draw.
The Dockers, 12-point winners over the Dogs.
Yeah, they just did enough, the Dockers. The poor old doggies, they've just got too many injuries to key players at present, which is threatening to derail their season at the moment. But, the Dockers look strong.
And in the local derby, 1 point the margin, the Crows 1 point winners over the Power.
Yeah, another cracking showdown game between these two sides. The only downside, Cam, is it wasn't the standalone game on the Friday night last week. And the Crows kicking a goal with, I think, 11 seconds to go. Braden Cook slotted one and they get up by a point in another cracker.
As expected, the Lions big winners over the Bombers, 143-79.
Yeah, the Lions are just purring along nicely, aren't they?
They are. And we tipped the Eagles in this one, but the Tigers 99, Eagles 88, 11 points the margin.
And I was watching the score closely towards the end, Cam, and the Tigers kicked the last couple of goals of the game to snatch that one off the Eagles. But well done to the cellar dwellers, and the Tigers get their first win of the year.
I think your question to me last week was, will Richmond actually win a game this season? And yes, they have, Jono.
I did, yes, correct.
Your Cats 135, North Melbourne 86, 49 points the margin.
Yeah, 49 points sort of flattered the Cats at the end. They took 2.5 quarters to get going to actually look like Geelong, but credit to North, they really threw it up to the Cats for the best part of 3 quarters, and Geelong just too strong in the end.
And at Marvel Stadium, the Blues, they went down to the Saints 108-69.
Yeah, and I'm still kicking myself on this one, Cam. I changed my tip to Carlton prior to the game, which I've done 3 times for Carlton this year, thinking they're going to win, and they keep throwing it back in my face, so never again.
Don't you hate when you do that? You've locked your tips in and then you might get a bit of information or you think about it or you look at the team list, then you go back and you make the change and then you lose the tip and you think, if I had just left it.
What was I thinking? And I never change the tip for good. It always ends up evil.
Yeah, more times than not, when I change the tip, I end up getting it wrong. Swans 131, the Demons 114.
Yeah, this was a great game. There wasn't a whole lot of defensive mechanisms about this one. It was very high scoring. And the D's, they threw it up to the Swans. Swans got out to about 5-goal lead at one point, and the D's kicked a couple late to bring it back, but they were never really out of it. And they're looking good, Melbourne, even though the Swans are looking better.
All right, and the Suns 20-point winners over GWS.
Yeah, your Suns getting themselves back on track, Cam. A nice victory there over the Giants. Still missing a few players, the Giants. They'll be better at the back end of the year, I suspect.
Now, this will go to air on Saturday morning, but let's start with the Dockers versus the Hawks in round 9.
Well, I'll already predict that this might be the match of the round on Thursday night. So the Dockers are sitting in second, the Hawks are third. As I'm hearing at the moment, there's a couple of question marks over some key players for the Hawks. So they might be down a couple, but it'll be a big task to beat the Dockers over there. And if they can do that, the Hawks, they're the real deal. But I'm going to have to stick with the Dockers at home.
Yeah, I'm going to tip the Dockers at home. Lions, short price favourites against the Blues.
Extremely short price favourites, and that's for a reason. I think the Lions will mop the floor with Carlton. Poor old Carlton, they can't take a trick.
Yeah, so to put us down for the Lions there. Power up against the Dogs. This one will be fairly evenly matched. It's in Adelaide.
Yeah, I agree, Cam. You could just about toss the coin on this one. If the Doggies had all their clientele available, you'd think they'd get over the top, but the Port Adelaide side have beaten the Cats. They went down to Adelaide by a point in the last couple of weeks, and they're looking all right. I think I might stick with them at home.
Yeah, I'm going to go the Dogs away there. Saturday, we see North up against the Swans. Just put the Swans top of the table.
Swans are top of the table, and top of the table for a reason. They are playing some sensational, fast easy watching footy at present. And even with their key recruit, Charlie Curnow, not kicking bags of goals, he's doing enough to unsettle the defensive lines of the opposition and allowing his teammates to come in and get the job done. North, they're improving, we know that, but they're just going to be no match for the Swans, not over 4 quarters. And I suspect a similar result to what happened to the Cats against the Cats last week.
Yeah, put me down for the red and the white. Okay, GWS take on the Bombers, and that's happening in Sydney.
Yeah, and hopefully the Giants start getting a few of these players back and they show the form that we know they're capable of playing. The Bombers, again, they can't take a trick. And, yeah, I suspect the Giants should get this one done comfortably at home.
Yeah, I'm going to tip GWS, your tip for the premiership for last season. And Gold Coast Suns up against St Kilda. Now, we might spend a little bit of time on this one. This is the game taking place at TIO Stadium. This is the 5th year of the deal for the Suns to play 2 games in the Territory a season. So they've played 8 so far. They're 8 from 8. This will be their 9th game. Can the Suns make it 9 from 9, Jono?
They will be 9 for 9 for sure, Cam. Your Suns, they love it up at Darwin at TIO. And I don't think the Saints can match them. Oh, well, we should call TIO their home ground now, shouldn't we? And I think all Suns supporters would love the Gold Coast Suns to play more games at Darwin because it almost guarantees the 4 points.
Yes, if it's the fifth and final year of the deal, let's hope the NT government and the Gold Coast Suns management can get together on the same page and extend that deal, because it's been a great thing for the Suns and it's been a great thing for football in the top end. Your Cats up against the Magpies?
Yes, I'm going along to this one Saturday night at the G-Cam, and I'm a little bit concerned about this one. The Pies, if they're at full strength, I think there's a few injury clouds. I know Scott Pendlebury will play and he'll equal the record this weekend. But I don't know. I think Darcy Cameron, the ruckman's in doubt. Cats are missing a couple. I'm a bit concerned, but I'm going to have to tip my Cats.
I'll be tipping your Cats, but let's just unpack this Pendlebury record. This is for the most number of games ever. Is that right?
Yes, correct. So he'll play. He didn't play against Hawthorn last week. He played Anzac Day and won the Anzac Day medal and had, excuse me, Cam, for the noise in the background. That's the garbage trucks just going past. So he brained Essendon on the MCG Anzac Day, won the medal, had a 5-day break. He didn't play last week against Hawthorn. He'll play this week against the Cats. Then he'll have the following week off against Sydney. And the plan is then to break the record back at the MCG against West Coast, which is a Collingwood home game.
So what's the record at the moment?
Oh, now you're getting me. Is it 430 something?
And how old is he?
38.
Just keeps on ticking, doesn't he?
38. I know I was having a conversation with a couple of my mates on Anzac Day, and we were saying that, you draft him now as a 38-year-old. That's how good he's going, and he has been his whole career.
Yeah, it's quite remarkable how well he's been able to go for so long and to have the body in such good nick. Okay, Demons up against West Coast. This one's at Marvel.
Yeah, Demons comfortably here, Cam. They're playing great footy, the Demons, which credit to Stephen King and the game style that he's adopted with them this year in the new role as the Melbourne coach. But they're playing a quick and exciting brand of footy, and when those two Pickets get their hands on the ball, it's a game you want to watch.
Certainly is, because he's getting a lot of highlights on the reel at the moment. And so I'll be tipping the D's in that one. And Tigers up against the Crows. Richmond, back-to-back winners?
Richmond back-to-back winners. And poor old Richmond, I feel sorry for them because they have got an extensive injury list this year, and a lot of them too are to their young guns. So that's just pulling the handbrake up on their rebuild a fraction, missing out on all these players not being available. So if they were all available, they would be sitting 18th on the ladder, I wouldn't suspect. But in saying that, Cam, the Crows should be too strong and get over them at the MCG. And the Tigers, they might be still patting each other on the back after last week's victory over West Coast.
I'm going to back them in for 2 in a row.
Look out. Yes, I like that.
Jono, thanks for joining us, and enjoy your time at the G with the Cats and the Pies.
Will do. The weather's totally changed here in the last week, Cam, so I'll be rugging up at the MCG Saturday night.
Go Cats.
Go Cats.
It's game time. strapped and strapped, the magic sponge doused and the oranges cut, chilled and quartered as we take the field for WCBH Darwin Sports Radio. WCBH Darwin Sports Radio.